Hey, what's up, nerdies? Welcome to the DC Watchtower, a nerdy bunch podcast where we discuss DC movies and TV shows. My name's English Dave, and joining me because he was rejected by Task Forces X, M, and the other letters, my co-host Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, dude? Fellow rejects.
You're not bad enough to be part of the Task Forces. I'm sorry.
Today is not denial. One day.
Or we could say, you were denied because of the new rule that the task forces aren't allowed to use humans anymore.
Which was a nice way to just kick us off. No spoilers.
We're here to talk about episodes 1 and 2 of the brand new DC Studios animated TV series, Creature Commandos. This one's interesting because one, it's kind of serves as the sort of quasi beginnings of the official start of James Gunn's DC universe, the Gunverse. But also it's animated, and it's in the sense that, usually we don't get these animated and live action crossovers, but this is something unique in the sense that all or most of the actors who play the characters in this show will also play the live action versions in some form, which is great.
I hope they continue that for a long time.
And this is doing somewhat of a soft reboot. It's not quite the hard brand new start that some might think. It does some characters and narratives are grandfathered in, but it's almost done as if it's in a way that there was a parallel universe where similar things happened, but not exactly the same. So you have some characters come over, like Viola Davis still being Amanda Waller, and from what I'm hearing, Peacemaker season 2 will be connected as well. And in this show, they reference James Gunn, The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how things move forward. But before we get into all of that, Andrew, with all the setup and the build-up of the hype for the brand new DC universe, how did you feel about this spoiler-free go?
So I thought this was a good watch. Right? I was entertained. Start there. There's some witty banter, a little bit of dark humor. There were times where it felt like a cross between Archer and Vox Machina. In some ways. And that's not to say it. I don't think it was great. I don't think that it I feel like I'm also sugarcoating. Like, I enjoyed myself, but I wouldn't necessarily say it lived up necessarily to the hype I had. But at the same time, the story is going in a direction that I was not and would not, and based on limited info, could not have predicted. So I like that as well. I'm a big fan of just fun new stories, right? And I think the stories that we've seen are pretty cool, and some amazing action scenes. It's one of those I feel like is going to age with time if it continues to build on some of the good elements that I've seen in the first 2 episodes. I feel like I had some nitpicks here and there, but I enjoyed it, and I feel like I'm excited to see more of what Gunn does, because art style wise, this is one of my favorite types of animations, right? So I really like that. I enjoy watching it, and yeah, I have some nitpicks, like I said, but overall, solid entry, I feel.
I find this an interesting start to the new DC universe, because being like the new start and how it's marketed, I think it creates a certain level of hype that probably is unfair to this.
Yeah,
We spoke
unnecessary.
we spoke about how hype can affect things in our Star Wars Skeleton Crew podcast. Check that out.
Yeah.
And how the lack of marketing or lesser marketing almost benefits that.
Yeah.
And I think this, again, some of the hype is we created it. It's not necessarily the studio created hype. It's fan created hype, because we know this is the first new thing. It's the beginning. We're all looking at it like, impress me.
Okay. Exactly. Literally, impress me.
And I think that's almost unfair. But looking at it in context, I think there's some surprises where I think it's less broad appealing than I thought. Because I thought this being the first one is going to be more broad appealing.
Just over, like that Justice League show,
right?
Cartoon,
I don't think this is for everybody. I think this has a very targeted audience, which I think you and I are part of. But I don't think this is for everyone. And I think there's a James Gunn touch to it that is unavoidable, whether you like it or not. This feels like a James Gunn, so you can tell if you like it or not. That's what it is. It's very much a James Gunn narrative. Um, and I also think, yeah, I think it goes more. What's the word I'm looking for? In terms of like the lore and everything, that I knew that it was using like lesser known characters, but I think in a way, Guardians uses lesser known characters, but because it's live action, it had the benefit of, oh, I know that actor. You
Uh-huh.
know, whereas this being animated, it's less obviously it's still using somewhat famous actors, but they're not easily recognizable. So the
More.
hook really is fully on the DC stuff. And
Mhm.
because it's more some of the stuff is a deep cut, I don't think it's for everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's at least these first 2 episodes. I think it's more niche than I expected it to be. For me, that's a good thing. I like that.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know that this is for everybody. And
You
and
are.
and it also, again, your mileage may vary. Some people are tired of like quippy characters in superhero stories, and you won't like this because
No, you're hidden actually, probably. But that's why I said the Archer thing, right? It's like
exactly, exactly,
it's a certain type of humor, but like if you like it, you'll have a great time. If you don't
exactly.
like it, you really won't like it, probably.
No, it's not gonna change your mind.
No.
Yeah, and James Gunn is known for his characters with witty banter, and so it's
Uh,
very much a James Gunn tone. And I think it remains to be seen how long this can last. Because sometimes I do understand the problem with every character being witty. It kind of takes it away. I think
yeah,
some of the complaints of the Marvel universe is that, well, it's usually like Spider-Man, Deadpool. Those are the witty, quippy characters.
yeah.
I don't want to be seeing Doctor Strange and Captain America
And
be
Wolverine
exactly,
and Captain Reed Richards all
exactly.
being the same level of snazzy.
Right, exactly. And I think this could suffer from that. We have to see where
Uh-huh.
it's going. But to be honest, I felt that, not for myself, but I felt why others would complain about that.
Yeah,
Um, like you said, the animation is great. I thought they take full advantage of the medium. We always
me too.
want some more of these superhero stuff in terms of well budgeted, focused animated stuff.
Yeah.
Usually the animated stuff have usually they're like the second team,
uh,
but this is like, okay, the core team doing animated stuff, and I wish Marvel would do more of that.
I
Of
agree.
course, we've seen some Marvel stuff of late, like What If, but I just love this approach where you're just going fully all out and all in and taking advantage of it. I enjoyed that. I agree with you. The animation style is really good. It
Yeah.
works. It's very smooth and detailed. I
Uh,
like what they've done there. I think overall, DC have always been good with animation, so I wasn't
yeah.
concerned there. Right, there's
Yeah,
no
fair
concerns
fair
there.
enough. It's not yeah, it's like, okay, good. You did what you're supposed to.
Exactly. Um, yeah, I think that's all for spoiler free. I think
Yeah.
it's a show that if you are a DC fan already, sure,
Yeah.
watch it. If you're kind of
Or
not, you're quite there, I would say wait a bit because I think it's still because it's brand new, 2 episodes. It's still trying to show us what it's all about,
yeah.
right? Because I don't know what I would sell this on if you're not already a comic book fan. What am I selling to you? I'm not quite sure yet. But let's go
We'll find
into
out soon.
spoilers. Um, like any show with an ensemble cast, it starts off with introduction of the characters. So
Mhm.
I want to ask you, is this one that's done framed through Rick Flag Jr. coming in and Viola Davis's Amanda Waller is filling him on the exposition saying, yes, we cannot use humans. So I found a loophole. We will use non-humans. There you go.
Non-humans.
We won't discuss
Mm.
what non-human means only because later on
Yeah.
doesn't the bride say to Nina, oh, you're not the monster like us, you're just a human with gills. So like what
Yeah.
are the what are the conditions
What are
that
the
make you human?
parameters for
Yeah, what are
being
the
human?
parameters?
Like you said, is a corpse human? Which was that
Exactly.
was a funny question. I think a corpse is human, by the way. It's just a dead human.
It's just a dead human, right?
I wish I literally wanted to respond. I was like, pick me. I mean, yes, a
Excuse
corpse
me,
is human. Like, what do you
adjust the
mean?
glasses.
If you see a human corpse and you see a gorilla corpse, how do you differentiate them?
Right,
Stuff
technically
is
she's
good.
multiple humans, right?
Yeah, right. But
But yeah,
Amanda had a great quote. Sorry, right there, and right off the bat. I don't remember exactly when she was like, "True friendship is born in petroleum deposits" or something. If I wrote it, so I was ready. Like you said, Gunn is known for his witty banter, so
Mhm.
that was also not the issue. It was like, yeah, some of the characters represented themselves properly, I think.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. I think. I mean, clearly, this first two episodes, it makes it seem. What I like is that you're not quite sure who's the focus because at
Well,
first you think it's Rick Flag, then episode two it seems to be the bride, but then now I'm getting probably each episode will have a backstory for a specific character
yeah, probably.
as we get to know them more and more often because the first episode gives us a general overview of the
Mhm,
characters, right? But yeah, once they get the briefing that they have to go to this island to stop
mhm.
Cersei and
Yes.
her sons of the mascara.
Dum dum dum. Also, the those guys like calling out
how,
feminists like
how
this
come
is
how come
idiots.
how come it's only women are allowed? That's not fair.
That's like that's
Or no,
sexist.
yeah, it's like why do girls get the cool waterfalls? and
Right.
and what's interesting that this is a time where at least in this universe I believe they don't know much about Wonder Woman because the news report says the perhaps mythical, perhaps real female island nation of Themyscira. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh, interesting. But I
it's
always
not
find this funny where
confirmed
it's
real.
like you're in a world where superhumans exist, but you say things like, maybe it's not
The
real.
the perhaps real. It's like I guess if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. But still,
Not
yeah,
true.
it's like how are you skeptic? Things happening every day.
Though you could argue that because things happen every day, you should be more skeptical because
Right?
people are more inclined to
Fake
try and
news.
lie to you, right?
Fake
Because
news. Fake
also the
news.
fake news will seem more real. So you have to kind of be more focused on it. Uh, yeah, kind of. I feel like these first two episodes they don't give us much in terms of the story narrative, right?
Mhm.
All we know is that this island nation needs help. Um,
Yes, Ilya is the princess of said nation. She
so
has
let's talk.
American loving bodyguards.
No, no, no. They like America. They almost like delayed with their love of America. They're
Yeah,
like almost like a decade or so delayed because they're
yeah.
still saying "what's up."
Za- and
I
what
make
did he say? He said, what show did he say that they watch? Oh, damn it, how could I forget? Oh, I wrote it down. The Jamie Kennedy experiment.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, we pull pranks like this. I was like, bro, that show is so old. That's like calling Punk the thing you're referencing.
I love like okay, you die now.
Yeah.
Everyone murder this man.
And then I feel like they're still gonna have a fight in the future. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, the thing is, let's talk about Ilana before we get to
Well,
any of these other characters.
sketchy.
I like when Phosphorus is like, I mean, have you seen the princess? I don't know how you could hold on for longer than 30 seconds.
Oh, that was different. Like fine, we'll give him a minute.
Okay, fine.
He's like,
He's
wait,
an older guy with lots of
wait.
experience. Maybe give him a minute.
See, like in those are the scenes where I feel like the Gunverse and his whole style more
Yes,
like how him shines, right? Because
yes.
that was a funny real conversation. And the
But
fact
it
that
does,
even Rick was like, you should have called me. You should have still
he's
knocked on
like,
the door. He's
he's
like, come
like,
on, man. Like,
I was being a bro.
I was being a bro. Yeah.
But yeah, Ilana and Rick, yeah, she keeps on. At first, she pushes to sleep with him. He does what he needs to do and says no. My thing is, I don't think it's because she's attracted to him. She keeps asking
Mm.
him questions. How does this work? What does that button do? Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think two things: either she's working for Cersei,
Mm-hmm.
or she is Cersei because Cersei has magical powers. Maybe she could transform herself.
I was thinking it's Cersei. I haven't seen her and Cersei in the room at the same time, right?
There you go. There you go. And on top of that, not for anything, when they first get to the castle, one of the first things they say is, what did you say? Yeah, when they arrive, they're like, looks like the gene pool was above ground and inflatable. You know what I mean?
So wait, sorry, I wrote that down. No, thank you. You have to explain that. I remember Mrs. Frankenstein's bride said that.
Yes.
Right. I remember. What does that mean?
Because it's how like there's lots of historically speaking, a lot of European royal family because they want to keep royal blood. There's a lot of incest
Incest. Incest,
involved.
yeah.
Yes, a lot of incest involved. And to what the gene
That's
pool
what I
is like a gene
figured.
pool
Yeah.
was above ground and inflatable, so
Mhm.
it was a shitty dream gene
Get
pool.
you.
But then it tells you how does Ileana turn out so pretty because that's not part of the family.
Usually,
Uh,
because do you remember the pictures on the wall?
exactly, exactly. She did. This doesn't look
Like,
anything like them.
I mean, those people were visually challenged.
And even grandma almost dead, drooling. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I think she's the bad
She
guy.
sticks out. She sticks out a little bit, and yeah,
Yes.
was a
She's
little
trying
bit
too
too
hard.
forceful to Rick.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was just like
Hmm.
how far are you willing to go to be creepy? No means no, man. Consent, please.
Exactly,
Hello.
exactly.
Gosh.
We also get this first two episodes. The main focus narrative is the bride. We find out that this is where she came from. This is where she was
Mm-hmm.
made. You get the whole
Well,
backstory, which is actually very similar to those of you who've read the Frankenstein books. The story,
mm-hmm.
it's very similar to that
Mm-hmm.
story.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? I actually like the character a lot. What do you think of her
Okay.
backstory? Also with Eric Frankenstein.
It's so good. I thought that I enjoyed episode 2 more than episode 1.
Yes.
Maybe because we are able to now have some time, I guess, to delve in. But just everything, just the character of Frankenstein, him just being so
My
like
bride,
like
love me.
like as soon as she was born, he was there with flowers.
Here
He
you
was
go.
like
She's like,
he was
oh,
like calm down. She's a bundle. I can't what he said, but basically she's a bundle of fear,
yeah.
right? Like that description that he gave of the process of birth and just the difference between or how the greatest gift God gave us is the fact that we forget our birth.
I
That
love
was
that.
a great quote as well. And I really enjoyed Victor. And it was,
Yes.
and I knew it. That's why if you must, I literally called it because I mean, like you said, we know the story originally, but back in Frankenstein walking on him at that moment,
I,
it was
I
just
found
like,
it interesting that we get a flashback as she's getting punched in the face.
yeah, the
Right.
timing, right?
Yeah.
That
So
was
that's interesting.
it was like it's nice because it's a different way to do it, right? It's not at a moment where I would have expected a flashback, but it's and I think I don't know. The thing about this show is I'm really waiting for it to finish, and I don't think I'll
We
be
barely
surprised.
started. You want to
But
finish already?
no. I mean, like, I can't wait to just look back because I feel like I'm almost expecting some fireworks that I haven't yet thought of to come into the show. Maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe not. Right? Or just mean there were some elements in these first 2 episodes that are like, okay, I see what you're cooking. It has a nice smell. It's not may not have been what I would have ordered, but continue cooking.
Yeah, no, I and also like this episode. It's again, it sets up the character of Eric Frankenstein. Apparently, they've been fighting each other for decades.
Hulk.
He's
Yeah.
a complete, he's a complete ultimate creeper.
That was
Like,
so the
let her
scene
go.
was so well done across the years.
Like, totally, you will love me. She's like, no, I don't like you.
I
Love
think
me.
those ones they were like on the horse. His
Yeah,
tongue was just out. It's like, bro, you're so creepy. Please,
like let it go. She doesn't want you. She wanted the other guy that you killed.
yeah.
Yeah. But also it sets
Oh,
up
killed
the
so
dynamic,
badly, by the way.
right? The way
Like
he's twisted.
he didn't just like smash his head in. It was like
No, twisted upside down. Put him on
chicken wing
display.
arm. Yeah, like sorry, wow.
Like damn. But also sets up the relationship between the bride and Nina, the
The
aquatic
fish.
lady. Yes. Um, wh- I find her interesting because I think
Nina,
she's gonna be that typical character that's very timid and everything like that. But when
looks
she
so
hits
weak.
the fan, it's gonna be
Yeah, she
savage. What do you think?
goes Phoenix
Right?
mode. I was even wondering because I expect that happens when she's in water. I think Amanda Waller even confirmed,
Yes, I
and
like that she
Amanda
sleeps in the
also
tub.
said, "Yeah, all right." Amanda also said that she's probably the smartest person in the group. I think she
Yep.
said
Mhm.
to to Rick, and that she could help keep them all together. But um, I was almost expecting the raindrops to power up. I don't
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
raindrops.
yeah.
It was raining. I was like, oh. And who knows? Wait for next episode. But
Yeah, she's clearly
that's
not
what I'm
dead.
wondering. I'm wondering how much water she needs to.
Mm.
Like, it's like you need to be in water to move, or is it that water enhances you? I'm a little curious because you're
Huh.
walking around with a glass helmet. I mean, so also a little dumb. Sorry, like
Seriously,
I don't
you
know.
have you have full on like what's it called, the backing of Amanda Wall and Task Force X. You couldn't create like some crazy
And
head
any
thing,
sort of like
you know,
I don't know, metallic
special,
or
or just say special gloss that's
yeah,
impenetrable, something, you
yeah,
know. It's
like
it's
like
DC,
literally anything. You know what? At least bulletproof, right?
right?
At the very least. But yeah, that aside, the scene with her and it's Frankenstein's bride. next to each other on the floor. That was kind of cool because I didn't expect that. Yeah, it's almost like this is definitely not the usual protagonist show. Like that's when Wonder Woman and Hawkgirl would rally together and
Right.
defeat everyone. Where these two are just there
Says, go
knocked
fuck
out. Like
yourself. He's like, go fuck
that's
yourself. Let's talk about Mr. Rick Senior.
mhm.
I like his character. That fight between him and Phosphorus.
That was a good
Uh,
point.
it was a great fight. I love that he uses the
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 oven mitts.
oven mitts.
That's
Nice
so
touch.
funny.
He's like, Amanda Waller is like, what about the radiation? Think of it as a free vasectomy.
Just in there. I wrote that down. Oh my gosh, like, sorry, what, ma'am?
But what I liked about this fight, it shows two things about Rick for me. One, it shows that Rick is very capable, even though he's human. He's like the Batman
Mhm.
of the team.
Yeah.
It's to show that I don't care how much powers you
Cat
have.
can catch these hands. Anybody can catch these hands.
Cat these mitted hands if you need to. And he held his own, which I was very impressed by.
Yeah.
And But what he says afterwards, when he's just like, you idiot, like, I'm on your side, we're on the same team. He's not here to kill him or do anything wrong to him. He just wants to get the mission done. He's like, if I told Amanda what just happened, she would kill you. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say anything. So I like that about his character, right? He's not just like, yes, sir, whatever you need, sir.
Yeah.
There's a bit of compassion to him. What do you think of
Yeah.
Rick Senior?
And even the fact that he's like, you really think this is the only detonator that there is? Like, are you, Mark? Come on, like,
Like, you're being an idiot.
um,
You'd be dead, not me.
yeah. And even the way that after he doesn't really like over chastise Phosphorus about it, it just moves on, right? And
Yeah.
I think that's it's not you're right. He's a good leader, especially understanding the circumstances. Right?
Mhm.
You're not here to be best friends. We're all here to do this job and get back, maybe. So just like honestly, just shut up and let's do it. So shout out to him, and yeah, he impressed me with that fight because again, that's a very tough opponent to go up against, right? Even good old Batsy or even Superman would have a little bit of a hard time, right?
I mean,
Even if slightly, as we've seen.
uh,
So yeah, well done to him. I wonder about the burns, how bad those
yeah,
would
right.
be. Little forearm burns he got.
Yeah.
It's looks really painful. But yeah, I'm intrigued, and I like the touch. When he mentioned his son dying,
Yeah.
it's like
Well, Amanda's like,
like
Weasel's the only one that
ooh,
survived. Oops, sorry.
oops.
Too soon?
Like yeah, definitely too soon, but oh well, here we go.
Here you go. Another character stood out to me is GI Robot. He's just
Not
like
killer.
Nazi killer. He's like, what do you think of the scene? No, I don't like any scene that doesn't have dead Nazis in it. Can you
Yeah,
go kill Nazis?
like no. Mm. And now he keeps looking at Frost and Weasel, and we're like, is he a Nazi?
Is he
Wait,
a Nazi?
see? Oh,
Are you Nazi?
so
Oh, he just sees Nazis everywhere. Even in what's the game? Jenga.
Like yes.
Sees the like Jenga, shoots it.
It's like you just
I
need
like I
to
like
come.
his character. He's interesting. I want to see his backstory and
Mhm.
where that could go. And I wonder if there's going to be a moment where, because he seems to be triggered by Nazis. So I wonder if there's going to be a moment where that's going to have a bad negative effect on the team when they need something to happen a certain way, and he just sees something that triggers him and just ruins the plan.
And even just yeah, I don't know how many episodes are in
I
this
think it's
show
going to be like 8 or 9.
because we obviously need a backstory per
Yeah,
character.
per character. I'm sure we're going to
Uh,
get backstory per character, and about 20 to 30 minute long episodes.
yeah, which
Yeah.
I guess because just to these days I'm looking for more expansive feedback
Mhm.
from myself, and um I don't know. I don't think the pacing was the is it the pacing? I don't know. I feel like it just was maybe the episodes felt short and a little too compressed. Okay, I don't know. I kind of feel like we could have done solid 30 minutes and just filled in a little bit more.
Mm.
Because it feels like there are a lot of characters and it's gonna be hard to not forget some of them
Yeah.
uh, in the entirety of the story. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not again. This is just kind of a more critical eye.
Mhm.
Um, I felt like there could have been a little bit of better pacing just overall. I mean, just personal thought.
One thing I find interesting is that I went into this thinking it would follow the lines more of a mission per week parameters, right? A new
Mm-hmm.
mission every week, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking maybe it's not. I'm thinking maybe the whole
Like
season.
the whole season.
Yeah, they're going to be in this location. Cersei is going to be the main villain. Maybe
Uh-huh.
bring in someone else, but I don't
Uh-huh.
think I thought at first it might be like, okay, 1 2 episodes go to this mission over. Next episode,
Yeah.
different mission. I think it'll be
Yeah.
more 1 or 2 missions. I
Yeah.
don't know if that'll be good or bad. We'll see. Maybe it gives it time to like flesh things out more, the
Yeah.
greater narrative. Because I think this will be more of a, as much as it's the beginning of the new DC, I feel like this would be more of a standalone story that's happening in some other region.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I feel like this is still serving
Hmm.
um, as a bridge show for them to kind of test ideas without over pissing people off,
Hmm.
right? It's like, okay, if you mess up GI robot, okay, it's not cyborg. Like nobody's gonna cry. Um, so I guess in that same vein, what I'm trying to say is I also want to see them get more creative if that makes sense, right? It's like if this is what you're choosing to do, yeah, go all in, right? Like literally, let's see, don't treat it like a traditional superhero narrative since it's clearly not, and that's fine because that's not what you've picked. But if you're working with this IP of Doom Patrol type characters, right? Then go all in, go all
Hmm.
into the weird, and let's see, and let this new DCU be based on just embracing the quirks of whatever story you're telling.
Hmm. Hmm. I agree. And I think there's potential here. Again, I think the balance of the backstory and the current story are what's going to make or break it. Because right
Yeah,
now, I think the current story hasn't quite hit yet for me
yeah.
in terms of this being in Pakistan and
The
what's going on with the
Cersei,
politics and
yeah.
Cersei.
Like,
I for me, the strong part was the individual narrative, at least so far, of the bride. And
yeah,
so I'm like, okay, what are the individual narratives going to be for every character? I'm still
yeah,
not invested in the main storyline
yeah.
yet. You know, anything that stood out to you that we haven't spoken about yet?
Let me just quickly check.
When
Right,
Victor's like, "You want your bride to speak, don't you?" And then
well,
Eric's like, "Words get in the way of truth."
true.
He's just like, "I don't want her to speak her feelings."
Like,
Like, you
yeah,
being that guy.
it's like, are you really saying that? Nope. I think those are all my.
I loved
I
in
like to everything.
the fight scene,
Oh, wow.
uh,
Yeah.
Cersei and the bride, when before that, when Cersei is trying, and when the bride is trying to run away, and she's like, "Huh, huh, stealth," jumps out, boom, boom, and then
Yeah.
Nina comes down. How'd you get down here? I took the stairs.
Yeah.
They don't care about
Yeah.
us going anyway. We- and again, it's very telling
Yes,
of the
my.
bride's character, right? Because she's always, on the edge, hiding and things like that. It's like, you didn't need to
Yeah.
hide. Let's
Yeah,
ask this guy for some money. Give us your money.
yeah. Like, this is wrong.
But I liked when they're trying to escape and the bride is carrying Nina, and then she jumps down, lands on the guy, catches the machine gun,
The
shoots
gun
all the
and
guys,
then that's
and then
yeah.
Nina's like, "That was right next to my ear.
And
God
what
damn it!"
yeah. Yeah, the banter is the banter is very good.
Yes.
That's that's part of this show's strength. Another strength, sorry, yes, I almost forgot, is or yes, I just call it the strength. The music. I think the music is very fun and very good. And very like it keeps me in the fantasy a lot because it's so quirky and weird.
He used a lot of like European, like these are real songs
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, and James Gunn is known for his great needle drops. He does a lot in the Guardians movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my issue
Mm-hmm.
here, and it's not an issue yet. This is like a maybe issue. So I'm reaching out here. Is that I think it works in the film because it's condensed, but I'm hoping it doesn't distract from the show where it'll feel like another song, another
So
song, another
yeah,
song, another song. I don't want
like
it to lean on the songs
like we
constantly.
shouldn't hear one the next episode.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Right,
something like
type
that.
of thing, and we shouldn't hear one the next episode after that too.
But I
But
feel like we
then
will. I feel like we're gonna hear a song
one in every episode.
every episode. So the question is, will it get annoying? I don't know. I can't
Yeah,
tell. But I'm just wondering if it will or not.
yeah,
I'm curious. I don't know. It could work. I think it could work because these songs aren't necessarily famous or familiar songs to most.
yeah. That
So you're
was what
not,
I was liking about it.
yeah. So you're not distracted by the song, whereas like
I'm
some
not
movies
thinking
will
about
have.
the lyrics or the
Yeah,
artist. It's
exactly,
just like
exactly.
it literally keeps me in there because I'm like, it sounds so different ish, and the words are. The lyrics are just so weird,
Like
like Gypsy Autopilot.
even the intro credits are interesting. I didn't expect it.
I like the intro.
It almost gives vibe of like what's that called? Cowboy Bebop. If you watch that, the
Of
style, the
course.
music, and things like that. I think James Gunn. I love that James Gunn's in the intro. I wonder
He's
if that's
there.
going to be a constant, like throughout all his stuff, where he's there in the intro.
I feel like he is me, by the way. 'Cause I mean, I totally would do that.
Anything else? Oh,
Yeah.
when Cersei changes the bride's arms, and she's like, "What the?" It's just like,
Yeah,
I love-
Cersei is powerful. She's like
right?
enchantress.
Which is why I think she might be Ilana,
Yeah,
because
I know.
she can transform stuff, and she could have
Mhm.
transformed herself. Because again, Ileana should not be pretty, right? She does not look like part of that same gene
Look at
pool.
the pictures on the wall, man.
Exactly.
It make no
Yeah,
sense.
it would take at least 3 generations to wipe that out of marrying new people
And a little bit of
outside,
crossbreeding, yeah,
right?
like
It wouldn't be
yeah.
She wouldn't just come out from one generation and suddenly she's the normal looking pretty one.
Nah,
Not even normal, she's
that's
supposed
a
to be
no.
hot in this universe. Right, so I was like, yeah. I loved when I love when the visual of when they're fighting and the bride stabs Cersei in the ankle, through the
Wow.
ankle, and
Yeah.
then kicks her in the crotch. You see the crystals smash. I was like,
That
whoa.
was so weird. It was so funny because I was like, why are you kicking her in the crotch? Like,
Hey, man or woman, crotch
it,
kicks
it,
is a crotch kick.
it still hurts for sure. Right? It's just like, but yeah, no, after that, Cersei put in some work. Like,
Yes,
damn,
right.
damn.
I, I loved how all her guys just watching her. She's eating and drinking beer magically. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, oh my god, she's
Crushes the
amazing.
can. Yeah.
I mean, the comics,
uh,
it's interesting. In the comics, the sons of Themyscira are literally that, because it's an all female island nation, yes,
mhm,
but doesn't mean they only give birth to females. The whole
mhm,
idea is that at least in some of the law, is they would capture pirates, sleep with them, have babies. If it's a girl or female, the baby would stay, and if it was a male, it was cast away, and
yeah.
they became known as the sons of Themyscira. So I
Yeah.
don't know if these are literal in that sense, or they're just using the name. I probably think they're just using the name, the way it seems. Yeah, they seem like Trump supporters, the way it's written.
Me 100% deal. I almost feel like that's intentional.
Right,
Um,
definitely.
Very small random line was when they said, "Whose middle name is Bill?" And I really was like, "Whose middle name is Bill?"
Not William? No,
Nope,
Bill.
not
You sure?
no. Uh,
Also, I love when Ileana's being fresh to like when he's like wants to sleep with him, and he's like, I'm here to protect you, and she's like, protect me from the loneliness.
that was a good quip too. Like, he said, "Dang, it's way too thirsty." Like,
Seriously though, wait, but I love like he fought it, and he was like, F it, grabs
and they
the
just
ass.
literally grabbed her. It's like it wasn't even like there was no gray area
No,
in his
he's just like,
decision.
yeah, I think
So yeah, I
that's
mean, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm gonna look forward to the next episode.
mhm.
But I'm not like I'm not like I'm
You
not
must
like
watch this show.
yeah,
You're
I'm
gonna
not
miss out. You're gonna
drooling
get
over
FOMO.
this. I don't even think first of all, I think everybody should watch every DC animated thing that exists. Personally, I mean, even the bad ones, they make good stuff. But yeah, I haven't yet decided to put this on any sort of story or social media platform.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could change. Or by change, I mean I feel like the episodes could ramp up. Um, and what I was going to ask you in closing too was, are you expecting any cameos in here?
Um, I think we might get cameos of characters we've already seen. So in live action, so for example, characters from the
Like
Peacemaker
Peacemaker World?
series, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can bring some of those characters in, and James Gunn has a lot of friends. But though we could see new characters there, because again, this show is also introducing characters that have not been introduced live action just yet.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to get a major cameo.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Superman and Batman already exist. We might get a cameo in the sense of someone will say their names.
Yeah, or mention
You know, yeah,
Metropolis.
exactly. Or that blue streak. Remember the blue streak?
Mm-hmm.
He's calling it a Smallville.
Yeah.
that blue streak that we saw in Metropolis, or
Mhm.
that the freak that comes out at night in Gotham.
Yeah.
Something like along those lines. I think. I don't think we're gonna get in terms of the major cameos. I think we might get some subtle ones. I think, knowing James Gunn, it'll be cameos that you're like, who the is that? And it'll be a character who appeared in one issue in 1976 comic or something like that. That's, I feel,
Mhm.
the kind of characters you're going to see. He's going to go deep cut with us, but
Mhm.
we could be surprised. Again, this is
Well,
still also supposed to be part of the main line, so I don't think they can hold back. They will hold back, and it's animation. You can do whatever you want.
mhm.
All right. There's
Like
less
this,
logistics.
yeah. As my hope would, like I mentioned, the fact that it's animation, it gives you so much more creative freedom, and
Mhm.
I don't want them to be held back. I get it. It's the first one, and I feel like let me say, I feel like he may be trying to play it safe and also deliver, which is a very tough place to play in. But again, there's a reason we all love these comic books. So I just hope they continue to like delve more into the weirdness. And like I said,
Mhm.
I really enjoyed this Frankenstein deep dive, and I know we're gonna see him again and
Of course.
repeatedly. And what's that gonna end up like? Is he gonna stay an enemy for the whole time? Is it like
He's going to join the
dot
team.
dot 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 dot? Is there gonna be a bigger villain? Doomsday? Does Doomsday appear? No, I'm more expecting Doomsday somewhere. This always know he's out there, right? Doomsday and Brainiac are two people. I'm just like there's like
Or,
always out there.
or the anti-monitor.
No,
It's another
that's
character that's
so,
always showing up.
so many
Uh,
things. Or
Or
Dark Side,
dark side.
looking for
Yeah.
the anti-life equation.
I was thinking of names for this collective podcast, and one of them was like the anti-life equation. I'm like, that's too much of a deep cut for most.
All right.
I feel like, what do you nerdies think of this series, the beginning of James Gunn's DC universe? Let us know. Find us on social media at The Nerdy Bunch. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, whatever platform you're listening or watching it on, please give us a rating, thumbs up, a couple of stars, whatever it is that options it gives you. If you have any ideas or any ideas. If you have if you have any recommendations for things that we should watch, you can find us on our email, the nerdybunchpodcast@gmail.com. Check out some of our other podcasts. We're literally after this about to record the latest episode of Silo. We're also doing Dune Prophecy, which is doing very well, by the way. I think it's HBO's current top show on streaming right now. And what else are we doing? Oh, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Check that out as well.
Nice variety.
Yes, a nice variety of stuff. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, David.
My name's English Dave, and this has been a Nerdy Bunch presentation of the DC Watchtower, where this week we spoke about episodes 1 and 2 of DC Studios' Creature Commandos. And as always, Andrew,
Keep it nerdy.
peace.